What's up, sluts? Y'all ready for book club? Y'all motherfuckers ready for book club? Hello? She about to resonate with a bitch. Yeah, I am.
I know that you sick of being my little secret.
I know that you sick of being my favorite. Hello? What's up, fuckers? Do you guys like the new screen? Do we like the new book club screen? It is very cute. You know, she worked real hard. Oh my, what?
By the window, that is
hey Liz, thanks for the 10 months sub. Books, it's book club time. I'm so excited. I've been working all day on this shit, and I'm ready. You Papa girl, you're so amazing. I hope everyone read the book. I know some people finished it about an hour before book club started. I'm not calling anyone in particular out, but you know. But we all read it, I'm assuming. I'm assuming we all got there. And I want you to meet fuck. I know that you sick of being my little secret. I know that you sick of being my favorite. Sorry, I'm organizing. I have my iPad next to me that I will be scrolling. Oh, uh-oh. I'm gonna need a new drawing tablet cord soon. That has a short in it. Yeah-oh. What was I saying? I'm gonna be scrolling through the book just to, like, in case I miss any, like, slight detail from my notes. But I made a slideshow for us that breaks down, the parts in each book. We will be having some, guest speakers with us today at book club. Yeah, I have physical notes. I have notes in the Can you shut your ass up? I have physical notes. I have notes in the slideshow, and then I also have notes that I took in Kindle. So, we got all of them, baby. We're not gonna miss a single goddamn detail. You have no notes, just screaming. Well, you also finished it today. So, it's fresh for you. I had to, like, refresh, because I finished it, what, a week ago? I basically reread the fucking book again this morning. And my skin's smooth, I'm healthy. Alright, I feel like it's been a solid amount of minutes. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna grab some lo-fi for the background. Instead of copyright music. We're gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna turn it down. So it's there, but not like too there, you know? You also did it today? Listen, I'm saying, it's not a hard book to get through. It's very short, and it's an easy read. That's why, again, I read it in like 2 hours again today while I was doing the slideshow. Okay, let me go ahead and hop in the Discord. In the Schmisscord. Ooh, I'm gonna have to move you, aren't I? Yeah, I'll do that when I hop in. We're going in, boys. A bloop blop. I need to move you. Ah, fuck. You're all the way down there. Ah, shit. Okay. You can go here. There we go. What's up, nerds? What's up, fuckers? Your mic isn't working? Uh-oh. Fascinating.
I'm gonna come!
Thank you for the coom. You know, there's gonna be a lot of that today. I'm gonna turn the sub goal off. Well, actually, I can just move it, can I? Hold on. instead of turning it off. We're gonna put it like up here, but make it pretty small. Or I guess over here is fine. I don't know where to put this thing. Up here? We're just gonna turn it off.
Hello.
There you go. Hello.
Hey, I had to unplug and.
You sound a bit echoey. What the hell? What's going on? Oh, and then she died again. And then she left. I'm all alone. On an alien planet. I turned fucking blue. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how we got here. But I'm blue now. My hair is black. I don't know what happened. I need to move this over here anyways while we start setting up to discuss this fucking book. Would you believe Jada made this background elaborate as fuck? There's more pieces to this bitch. I made this complicated for myself. Do you guys like it though? Do you like the whiteboard? I worked hard on it. I think it's cute. And then we'll have stuff
Hello?
going in there. Oh my god, there
Am
you
I
go.
alive? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, I'm alive.
You're alive.
Hello,
Bitch.
everybody.
Welcome
Ready
to
for
book
some
club.
alien fucking... Oh. Yeah, welcome to book club.
You know, I mean, yes. Is also what's happening. I want that to be like, yeah. It's like
should we
barely
move to the
there.
screening room and not the
Oh,
or
yeah.
do we want people?
No, we can move. I moved her myself. Get shit on. Alright, there we go. What's up, fucks?
Look.
Y'all ready to discuss this shit? Let me open my goddamn iPad. Let me open my shit up.
So I just want to
Burger
say,
King foot lettuce.
I hate you for doing this to me. I want you to know that. I hate you so much.
Welcome to hell!
I didn't need this in my life.
You're in
Now
here
I'm
with
like,
me now.
I'm mad. Is it because my... Hold on. Is this louder? Please tell me if I'm louder or not, because I can't tell. Eh?
You look like you're fine to me.
Am I fine?
Yeah, I'm looking at the
I didn't-
wavelengths. We look like
my
the
volume.
same.
My volume was like... I guess I did it again where I hit the little volume knob and it lowered me, and that's what the mic wasn't picking up, and I was like, hello, shouting at my fucking mic. Like the asshole that I am.
You know, that's fair. I also bumped you a little bit on my end. Do I sound fine? The mic's further away from me today. I turned it up and I moved it a little further away.
You're fine.
Okay.
You sound
sick.
Okay. I can hear you.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time to start.
Kick it off, bestie.
Okay, we have some elaborate things going on here. Oops, hold on. So I gotta, hold on. We gotta do that.
Hold your fucking horses, everybody.
What? What's your problem?
Nothing. Go on.
Okay. Hold on. Jada's fixing things.
Yeah. Right. Interesting.
Okay, there we go.
Oh, that's incredible.
Welcome to Book Club. We're gonna be, discussing why did it send me to the end of the book again? I'll kill you. I'll eat your fucking parents.
Interesting.
Hold on, we gotta scroll to the first chapter again.
Chapter 1.
Welcome, everyone. Can you do... Okay. I'll just click it. It's fine. Do you like the background I made? I made it its own slide because it took me a few minutes.
I love it. It makes a lot of sense, considering the two suns, the moon,
Yeah.
the mountains. It all makes sense.
Alright, fuckers, here we go. So, we start the book, and we meet our main character, Georgie. Don't pay too much attention to the drawing. It's ass, and I did it weeks ago. But that's Georgie, you know? We meet Georgie.
She's cute.
And Georgie... we have Georgie Carruthers? Carruthers? I don't know how you say the last name. As you can see, I wrote down that it's a stupid name.
I don't remember. I don't care. Her last name doesn't matter. to be
Yeah,
honest
they
with
never
you.
say it again after this. This is the only
They
time they say her
never do.
full name.
Yeah.
But yeah, we meet our main character. She is a bank teller who was sleeping peacefully and then was abducted by aliens.
Yep.
And then we come to find, I'm not going to put all the details because there's a lot of fucking, there's a lot of filler. I think you mean
You mean
Shorzy? Shorzy? I hate this. I hate it.
Shorzy.
I hate it here. But
I'm dying.
she wakes up. She wakes up in her she wakes up in a weird, like, room/cage and finds herself with a group of other girls. They're all the same age. They all lived alone, and they were all moderately healthy. And they also discover that they have bumps in their arms where they assume trackers to be. If the wording is a little weird in some of these notes, it's because I had to go in and, like, add stuff and fix shit.
You're good.
In my physical notes, I didn't write down everyone's names right now because they kind of don't matter. One of them was Prego. And then, got it vacuumed out of her, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. This first chapter is very rough. In my opinion,
Let's just say,
it's a little... Oh, do I have my fucking
little rough.
trigger
It's
warning?
literally... Yeah, I think we need that because it's very scary alien abduction type shit, and you're just like, oh, this is not what I expect at first.
Yeah.
And it's scarring. So. Yeah. It was actually pretty well written. Not gonna lie. I was like, oh, okay. But it was not what I expected at first, and then it went into immediately 0 to 100 so quick.
Sorry, hold on.
But we'll talk about that in a second.
We will talk about that in a second. It's a lot, It's really
It is
rough.
a lot. Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a little too rough. I don't think that we had to go there in a lot of places.
I don't think so either. But I understand just because, oh, you're getting abducted by aliens, you're from Earth, you don't even know aliens exist, and then how do you get to this planet? This fucking ice planet at some point. But yeah. Definitely didn't need all that, but
How did I do that? Oh, why is it so
got
big?
this,
Give me a
Vesper.
second. We're figuring it out.
there are 2 S's in there.
I
hope you know.
I'll fix it. Let me
I
figure
know,
out how
I'm
to make
just-
it smaller.
Excessive in the intro.
Ow.
Yeah. It definitely set the tone of, oh, we're 22-year-old women that just got snatched in the middle of the fucking night in our jammies. Like, it really did set the tone of, like, this is fucking terrifying. Like, this is some real alien abduction shit that, like, it makes sense. The fear is there.
Fucking bitch.
I
How
like
did
her
you flip?
concentration phase. How did that
I don't know. Okay.
right click your
I got it. We're fine. We're getting there.
right click
Okay.
transform? Okay, there we go. You got this. You did it. You did it.
It lives there now.
Trigger
I'm not
warning.
touching it again. There you go. There's your trigger warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were we? Yeah, there's a lot of upsetting shit in here. I think it's unnecessary for the most part.
Yeah.
There's other ways that could be written to tell how upsetting it is without, like, fully describing all of it. Where are we?
Yeah.
We meet the guards. Wait, I have the description of the guards. She calls them basketball heads because they have like giant
Yes.
orange heads.
I lost my mind at that.
Trying to find it. Oh, a note that I have. There's another girl in there. I will name her now. Her name is Liz. I was like, Liz is a little too goddamn jokey for the situation we're in right now. You're cracking a lot of jokes, babe. And we're in a spaceship right now.
Seeing it not even as jokes, but as like a snarkiness, you know, like, oh, yeah,
Mm.
the fuck are we? You know what I mean, like with an attitude, because she seems like that bitch. You know what I mean?
You know?
That's
I
how
didn't see it as that, but that
interpreted that.
could be
Yeah.
how she wanted it to come
Like
out.
she seemed like sarcastic to me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know, but she seemed a little sarcastic instead of like jokey. There were some points that I'm like, okay, yeah, she was just fucking around, trying to like set the mood straight. But like, she comes off as like the to the point bitch, but very sarcastic.
Why are you not on screen anymore? What the hell happened?
Yeah, she goes, God, you're just Susie fucking Sunshine. Yeah, I'm like, oop.
I will be right back. Hold on.
For fucking sure.
Okay,
Welcome
there
back.
we go. You're back. Hello.
Good?
Yeah,
Okay.
you weren't on screen anymore, and
Okay.
it was irritating me.
Oh, I fucking died. It's fine, you know.
Yeah, she's to me a little too many jokes. For the bullshit that we're in.
Sarcasm.
We're gonna skip through the descriptions, but know that there was an essay scene, and it was extremely uncomfortable to read, and it's fucked up.
R.I.P. Dominique.
Her name is okay. We're not there yet, bitch. Calm down.
That's fine. I didn't have to say that. I'm saying R.I.P. because that's traumatic as fuck. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah.
Also, we
Her
all
name was
read it.
Dominique. Keep it in your fucking head. Well, I'm saying this because this might go on YouTube. We'll know.
Okay. Anyway.
But
Dominique.
anyways, they start coming up with a plan to overthrow the guards and try to, like, take over control of the ship from the other aliens, who are the ones who abducted them, are the little green men. They're stereotypical. They're gray. They're small. Giant eyes, you know? That's all you need to know. We don't see a lot of them in this, so it doesn't matter. Just, if you think of an alien, that's exactly what it is. So yeah, they come up with a plan that they're gonna, like, I think, was somebody gonna fake being sick?
Yes, someone was going to fake being sick.
Someone was gonna fake being sick, or,
can't
like,
remember.
start a fucking tantrum or something.
Mm-hmm. Start screaming, I believe. Yes.
To get the guards to come in and be idiots, and they were gonna throw a bucket of shit on them and try to all group up and overthrow them and take whatever weapon that they got. So they start doing that plan, and unrelated to the plan, there's a little bit of turbulence on a spaceship, which should set you off, honestly, in my head, because what the fuck? Why is there turbulence happening? This is a spaceship. We shouldn't be bumping. But that does nothing for them. They start going with the plan, and the thing that pissed me off, I didn't write it, all of those bitches crowded into a corner. You're not gonna help her? We just make up a plan and nobody's gonna stick to the fucking plan? We're just all gonna abandon her?
Well, they were trying to set the tone of these girls are so traumatized, like they can't help her, you know what I mean? And I understand that because like they have been here a lot longer, and so they don't know, and I'm sure some of them are way too weak at this point to do anything about it. So, that's what I was thinking. Anyway.
So that happens, but they don't get to complete the plan because then a siren starts going off in the room. The aliens start screaming through the fucking intercom system. And next thing you know, they drop the whole fucking cargo bay. They drop the whole thing. They eject the shit out of it, out of the ship. And they go tumbling the fuck out.
Yep.
I'm trying to skip, but my
literally
Kindle's...
hits the fan.
Yeah,
like,
it
so
literally
hard.
hits the fan. I'm trying to keep skipping.
Basically, Kira, she's the one with the translator. I feel like that's really important.
Yeah, I was gonna bring her up, yes.
Also, yes, Kira has a translator in her ear that they gave her because she was the first one to get caught. And they only had one, so they couldn't give everyone one, which I'm like, the fuck? How do you? Well, okay, whatever. And so she's like, they're going to drop us off and come back for us later.
Yeah.
Is what she hears from these fucking aliens.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And then it gets
Go on.
ejected. Shit goes absolutely fucking people are getting thrown against walls and shit. It's bad. They're getting hit with the things that are in the cage. It's awful.
A bucket with shit and piss is flying around.
Yes.
Right.
That happens. Eventually, they hit something that makes them stop. I believe that then everybody either wakes up from being, like, passed out, or they're already good to go. People are obviously injured. I'm slowly scrolling through this to see if there's any, like, specifically who's injured. People are just fucked up, obviously. It's a giant crash that they've been through.
Georgie has a fucked up arm, for sure.
Yeah,
she
her
broke
wrist
arm
gets
or something like
fucked
that,
up.
for sure.
She goes
She has
over
a lot
to
of bruising with the ribs and all that. But, yeah.
I believe she smashes the orange head's head in with some type of gun
With
thing.
his own gun. Yeah.
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 Oh, that was before they fucking got evicted. Okay.
Yeah, it was before the turbulence like started fully, like when they all started getting thrown.
Yeah.
It was before that she like bashes his head
Yeah,
in,
she
and then she
bashes his
gets
head
sick.
into pulp.
Yeah. She gets so sick because they're like, "Stop, I think he's dead." You know, like I think you got him. Like, damn girl, let's relax a little bit. So she gets sick, and then that's when the turbulence and all that shit happens.
Okay. Yeah. They crash, they wake up. Most of them got knocked down. There's a few broken bones, some bloody noses, and 2 of the girls died in the crashing. They kind of don't matter because they are dead. And we never learned their names to begin with, so...
Nope. Oof.
That happens, everyone tries to cling together. It's obviously a little cold it's getting colder in the thing, and they're realizing it. Some of them are crying.
Yep.
And then, as a group, I'm gonna skip over some details because now it doesn't matter. They are like, okay, we can breathe the air here, obviously. So either we're still on Earth or we're on a planet that's, like, fine, because the whole of the cargo bay got, like, smashed open in the crash. And they see snowflakes coming down, and so they're like, someone has to go check out where we are and see if we're, 1, still on Earth, or and 2, see if there's anyone who can help us get the fuck out of here, because a lot of us are, again, fucked up, can't make it out on our own. And so they kind of elect Georgie to go out and look for help and to scope out where they are, since she's the least injured out of all of them.
Yep.
They dress her up in the dead alien's clothes and boots. They give her the weapon, and she, hops her ass out of the thing, only to discover that it's a frozen, I would say, wasteland around them, with literally nothing else, really. And then she looks up and sees 2 goddamn suns, and she's like, well, fuck. We're not on Earth anymore.
Yep.
And they compare it to, she's like, has anybody ever seen Star Wars? And they're like, ah, fuck.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, number 1, I don't know that any of you bitches would call out not Hoth, but okay. Because I couldn't remember the name of the fucking planet, and I've seen those a lot. So y'all just know that on the top of your head? Okay. They call it not
Probably.
Hoth. Get used to that. It stays in the entire fucking series. They never call it anything else. And they say it a lot. Get used to it. Oh, I fucking highlighted this part. Who says this? Is it Kira? Kira's talking about when they mentioned the place they were dropping them off. It definitely wasn't Earth they were referring to. They kept talking about a particle cloud, but the only particle cloud I remember from science class was on the edge of our solar system, the Oort cloud. Who's remembering that from their science class? Hello?
Apparently Kira. She seems like
In
a
what
smart
world?
bitch, apparently. But, like, I don't know. In what fucking world? Who knows?
Yeah.
We
What
don't know
else
a lot about
happens?
Kira, right? Other than, like, she was the first one abducted.
Yeah, she was
We don't
one of
remember
the
that
first,
they...
if not the first. She has the translator. That's about. They dive
Yes.
more into the other girls' stories in the other series.
In the next book, okay.
Yeah.
Or next books, yeah.
So yeah, they send her out for, help or food or anything.
Mhm.
She starts
Mhm.
exploring. She comes across a weird tree line of a forest type thing, and I believe did that have water around it, or was that the one later in the fucking...
I think that's later, because she doesn't find water that quickly.
Okay, so she
Hold on.
just comes across... Hold on. I have the fucking...
I forgot how she started. Hold on. I don't remember.
Okay, I didn't write down water. So I think it's just a tree line she finds, and she goes to, I think, climb the tree to see where they are further up. Turns out, not a fucking tree. It's a weird blobfish, gross fish thing that tries to eat her. She gets
looks in
away
the
from it.
reflection of the water.
Okay,
And sees
so
it. That's
there
what it
was water.
She was gonna drink. Yeah, she was gonna
Noted.
drink. I forgot. She was gonna drink the water, and so she looked into the water, and then she saw this fucking fish, and then almost tried to eat her. So
Yeah,
she
tried
was
to
like,
eat
"All
her.
right, fuck that then."
She scrambles
not.
away, starts running, and then immediately gets caught in some form of trap that is obviously meant to catch some form of wildlife. It's, I don't know what they're called in real life, but they're the traps where you, like, set them and then it hangs the fucking prey. It catches them and hangs them. She gets caught in that.
It's like a snare or something.
Yeah,
Is
snare.
that what that's called? Can't remember. Yeah.
Snare trap? Got you. She starts freaking the fuck out about it, and then realizes mid-freak out that there's another creature coming towards her. All she can really tell is that it's furry, and she thinks that it's like a... What the fuck are those called from Star Wars?
Oh.
The one on the frozen planet. That's exactly what she's like. It looks like that! And now I can't think of the fucking name.
Was that when she was hanging up there? I don't remember.
Yeah, long story short,
yes.
He comes, grabs her, and she passes out because it was a lot of adrenaline, a lot of blood rushing to her head. A lot happened in this day for her. She just fucking passes out, you know? Yeah. And that's when we switch perspectives.
Plot twist.
To Vectel.
Everybody. Plot twist. Did not know this was going to be a thing.
We're switching perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we meet our other main character, Vectel.
So who's Vectel, Jada?
Who's Vectel? As you can see from this very accurate doodle.
Where's his tail?
It's not, the bottom half wasn't in that one. We switched to Vectel's POV. He is obviously a native of the planet. He goes up to check the trap. He's like, I don't know what the fuck this thing is that I just caught. And then all of a sudden, starts feeling the thrumming in his chest. He's like, oh fuck, I just resonated to this bitch. To this thing. So he's like, alright, I gotta cut it down. Books it to the nearest hunter cave near them and is like, I gotta figure out what this is and why I'm resonating. What's going on here? Right? So he's doing that. Starts peeling layers off to be like, what the fuck are you? Getting a little handsy while he's doing it. Touching, feeling. Seeing all the differences between them. She's soft, no fur, no tail, no horns, Eyes aren't glowing blue like his. No ridges. None of that, right? And then, the more he touches, eventually he decides, he's like, I gotta taste. I gotta get in there. And I'm like, when did we get here, bitch? We're 2 chapters in. What happened? Hello? In what world?
It's so quick. It goes 0 to 100 so fast. Because
he's immediately like, oh.
Crazy.
Time for dinner, I guess.
Yeah, apparently. He said, yeah, I'm gonna eat right now. Like, fucking Christ.
Keep in mind, this girl is covered in mess from the waste bucket. Yeah, he even, I believe, notes, he's like, she smells like...
He does. He just says
Um,
like she does not smell good at all. I don't
no.
remember what the quote was.
Like bitter memories, I believe, is what he says. Smells like bitter
Yeah.
memories. And so he starts taking the clothes off again, touching, feeling. He's like, you're not like me, so what's going on here? And then is like, time for dinner, I guess. And then we switch back to Georgie, who is like,
Yep.
oh, okay, I guess this was all a bad dream. Because now I'm to the good part of it, where things feel great and things are happening. I'm not going to get any more descriptive than that. There's bumps on the tongue, we find out.
Yep.
There's more ridges there. And then, you know, she's like having a time, and then she's like, I guess half asleep, moving around, until she ends up feeling horns. Heh. And that shocks her ass back to reality and back to the living, right? And so she's like, what the fuck is happening? Who are you? She kind of huddles away from him and is like, what is going on? Who are you? What are we doing here?
Who are you? What the fuck are you? Like, literally.
Yeah.
She's like, you're not
She's
human.
like, what are you? And then at some point, she's just kind of looking at him and is like, what the fuck is happening? And she says, and I quote, what are you gonna do to me? And then man starts going back for more, you know? He starts going back in. And this absolute goddamn whore is like, all right, go for it. I'll let you. Like, what, bitch? You're gonna, okay, you know? I guess better than me, you know? Try to eat out together. Shut up. But, you know, he goes back in, and she's like, fuck it. Today can't get any worse, I guess. And lets him, and continues to let him, until things get a little too heated. And he tries to get in there even more, you know?
I'm gonna come!
Thank you for the coom. And then she...
didn't play?
What didn't play?
The coom?
It did. I heard it.
Oh, it did. It did. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But, she reels her foot back, tries to kick him square in the chest. Turns out, that shit hurts. Is that alert Griffin McElroy? No, it's Ethan. It's Ethan.
Nestor.
I'm good. Has Griffin said I'm gonna come ever? I don't think that's a thing that man would say ever.
No idea.
But yeah, tries to kick him, but he's very hard everywhere apparently. And it
literally
hurts.
hurts her foot. Yeah.
It literally hurts her foot. And then we keep going.
Yep.
He's obviously confused. We're switching between perspectives. I'm not going to note every time they do it. I'm just going to give you the information. Iron tits on that man. Exactly. That's why I said I drew him accurately.
Literally, she breaks her foot. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say that. She literally says, I broke my fucking foot.
Like, what? She's like,
bro,
what?
God
he
damn.
is obviously confused. He's like, what is your deal? We're resonating. We're mates. Why don't you want to do this? And so he's like, did you stupid ass, you hurt your foot. Let me see. He tries to reach down to like check her foot. And that just like freaks her out a little more. And she ends up like hitting him, which makes him snarl, which then in return like makes her even more scared. She like backs up, huddles in further. And that makes him absolutely furious, but not for the reason that you think. It makes him fucking angry because he's like, oh, someone has hurt this bitch before. Who I want a name. And I'm like, hello?
Yeah. Immediate, I am gonna kill whoever did this to her.
Yeah,
like,
he literally grabs
ready.
her by the face and is like, who did this to you? But obviously they don't speak the same language, different planet, so none of that comes across. You know, some more internal, like, oh, I don't know what to do about this bitch. I could never think of hurting a woman in my life. Type shit. But we don't do that in my tribe. Why doesn't she resonate? What's happening? All that shit's going on.
Why does she have no cooey?
Yeah, why does she have no...
What makes the resonate happen? Cooey.
And so eventually in his head, he's like, clearly the gods have sent her to me so that I might learn patience. And he's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is what we do now. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, the posture check, and the bork.
Bark.
She's trying to talk to him, and it's like, clearly that's not working out, bitch. Obviously, he don't speak your language. And then, but as she's trying to speak to him, he's like, fuck, this bitch don't have no fangs either. Let me look at your teeth. And he, like, puts his fingers all in her mouth, and she's like, can you back the fuck up? No, I don't have teeth. No, I don't have fangs. Her body's different than most of the Sakui. I'm gonna keep saying it till it sounds right. Sakui.
Sure.
She's hairless. There's when we were eating dinner, he was like, what is this weird third nipple down here?
Oh yeah.
And then he pressed it and saw the reaction and was like, oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna note that.
Mm-hmm. He's taking notes mentally.
Yeah,
like,
he's literally mentally taking
I'm
notes.
Mentally taking them notes.
And so he's literally like, I don't understand what's happening. I don't understand what's happening with her. So literally he's like, I'll just sit back and watch her and see what she's gonna do next because I have no fucking idea what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And
it's not
so,
like babysitting duty.
Yeah. She starts like trying to get warm, gathering all the like blankets, furs around her. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna build this fire a little more because clearly she's fucking cold. Does that, and we lead into her trying to teach him her name, which is where we get Shorshi from. Is they can't quite pronounce the G, and she can't pronounce the fucking, what did he say? How did he say it?
It's like
unable to make the swallowed first syllable properly.
Yes.
She can't do with his name, but they're trying to communicate. She's trying to teach him, and they learn each other's. Even though it's wrong, they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Close enough. You got there. I understand what you mean.
Or she.
And then, he's like, oh, she's smart. She doesn't flinch away from fire like Metlux.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I just kind of don't understand, and is like, I guess I do have to treat her like a child because she doesn't know anything. She clearly can't like take care of herself, defend herself, so I have to treat this like a child. He's like, is this bitch dumb?
Literally helpless. Yeah, literally though.
He again is still mentally wrestling with the fact that she has no Qui. I keep saying Q and it's Qui. She has no Qui because he's like, she's gonna not do great out here without it. That's why she's cold. A lot of things are fucked without it. You need that. We'll come back to what a Qui is later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We get a little further in. Her stomach rumbles, and she's like, fuck, I'm hungry. Because homie was so confused when she understood the fire, but not the food. I know.
Yeah.
Her stomach rumbles. She's like, fuck, I'm hungry. He can hear it. He's like, damn, that bitch hungry. So he pulls out what looks to be like a weird granola Chex Mix type vibe. And is like, you want some of this? And she's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm hungry. She takes a mouthful and is like, this shit is nasty and spicy. And it's burning the fuck out of my tongue. She like rips the water thing away from him and is like, I need to drink. This shit sucks. She do that. He tries to keep offering it to her because he doesn't quite understand why she don't like it. And she's like, no, please no more. This shit's nasty. I would rather starve. Was it actually nasty, or does she have white people's spice tolerance?
That's what I'm saying.
I was gonna get into that after I finished the sentence, but I think that it's literally just spicy and she can't handle it.
Yeah.
Because that'll come up.
Maybe.
It'll come up in later books if we ever get to them. That point will come up later, which is exactly giving you the answer of she's just white people and she can't do it.
That's what I thought.
Again, tries to keep giving it to her, and she's like, no. And then he opens her mouth again, and was like, bitch, what is wrong with your mouth? Why can't you eat this? And she's like, back the fuck up. It's nasty. That's why I don't want it.
Weak ass bitch. Like,
Yeah. She again notices he has fangs, notices he has a tail. She notices that his skin feels like suede. It's very like, because it's like short fur, it feels very nice to touch. And then they kind of cuddle up, they get in the furs, and they fall asleep. That happens. We're gonna change pages yet again. We get to the next morning, they're still cuddled up. She's like, wow, this shit's warm. This is kind of nice, actually. She debates pretending to be asleep because she's like, again, this is nice, but she feels something pressing against her, and she's like, alright, actually, time out, Chief, we gotta wrap this up. Time to go. So they start getting up a little bit, tries to feed her more of the food, blah, 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 just more of, like, trying to communicate and not really getting it. And then she, like, really takes a good look at him that she didn't the night before, and is like, he has, like, ridges all over him. He has, like, hard, bony ridges all over him. There's the tail. He's, you know, pretty beefy, pretty big boy. He's 7 feet tall. Fun fact, that was a big boy. And then they all over him. Yeah, exactly. All over him. We'll get to that later. They start, like, furring up. They start dressing for the day, and they head out. He's like, or they don't head out yet. He's, like, trying to talk to her. She's obviously like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying to me. But she sees that he has knives, and is like, is this when she's like, can I have one? Or she just notes that he has knives, and is like, okay, cool. He can protect me. Gotta be friends with him. She also notes that he only has 3 toes and a spur that she doesn't call a spur, but it's a spur on the back of his heel.
Fingers.
Oh yes, and 4 fingers. I didn't highlight that part, but 4 fingers. Again, they're like, they're leading out of the cave, and then he's like, alright bitch, hop up. Pat pat.
Yep.
He gives her a piggyback through the snow. Yep. This motherfucker is fast in the snow, by the way. It took her a very long time to travel, because obviously she's cold, and the snow is very high. Yeah, I believe it's like thigh-like height to her. It's crazy, but he can, like, speed through it. He's very quick. They know what they're doing, right? They do that. And he starts taking her down the mountainside, and she's like, no, we can't go down this way. And she's like trying to get his attention. She's like, we have to go back up. She's trying to point to the mountains where the cargo bay is. She's like, we have to go back there. My friends are back there. We have to go back there. Obviously, neither one can understand each other. But, he's like, do you want, I don't know how they communicated this, but he's like, do you want more food? Bitch, you're hungry, clearly. You want food? And she's like, fuck. And so she sits there for a minute debating, and she's like, I would be no help rescuing them on an empty stomach, right? And so she's like, alright, take me to the food. And so he goes off somewhere. He's trying to drop her to, like, a little, I believe it's like a rock in the middle of a landscape somewhere. And he's like, alright, you stay here. I'm gonna go get food. And she's like, no, where are you going? Don't leave me. Again, because I can't talk. And she just sees him walk away. And he points out, he's like, I'm gonna go hunt this thing. And in his words, he's like, it takes her far too long to see the creatures, like, skulking around the snow. And he's like, alright, this bitch is, like, truly unequipped for where we are if she can't see that. But she's like, you stay here. I'm gonna go get food. I'll be back. And then she's like, can I have a knife, please? I'll feel better with a knife. She lets her hold... He lets her hold a knife. My brain's all twisted trying to get this shit together.
You're good.
He goes and hunts the thing. I'm not gonna give you fucking details. It was over quickly. It was over in a paragraph. He slits the thing open and is like, I brought food. And she's like, ew, that thing looks nasty. And he's like, you know what? I guess you've never seen this before. And so he starts, like, skinning it and getting the pieces out. And he cuts off a piece of raw meat and is like, hey, eat this. Here you go. And obviously she's like, no, the fuck is wrong with you? No, I don't want to eat that. And he's like, what do you mean you don't want to eat it, bitch? Eat it. And she's like, no. And so she says the word for fire because they were learning a few of basic words to communicate last night. And so she's like, you have to cook it. I can't just eat it raw. And he's like, you want to cook all the flavor out of it? All right, but we'll do that later. You have to eat.
The fuck?
Yeah. He's like, you need to eat at least some of it now. So he forces some of it on her now. And she's like, I guess, fuck it. I guess I'll do it. She's not happy about it, but they do it. She eats enough to, like, satisfy him. And then pat, up again for the piggyback. Bro, one shot to heart like a Popeye's biscuit. He really did. He really did, and was like, oh, the flavors popped all over my tongue. And I was like, you fucking nasty. What is wrong with you? You're nasty. No, they didn't. That's blood. It's not flavor. It's blood.
Well, it's flavor to him.
Problems. He has problems. So that happens.
He's a fucking alien. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has problems. He got shit to do with me.
We all got problems, okay? We all got problems.
I'm realizing that I did not take that many, like, IRL notes as I did for the fucking thing. But eventually, he's like, pat, we're going back to piggyback. He takes her back to the tree line she was at. And is like, watch this shit. He throws a stick in. And she's like, what the fuck is about to happen? And the weird fang fish is what he calls them. Like, go to attack. They go sicko mode, right? They lose their fucking minds for that stick. And she's like, fuck, that's the thing that almost ate me. And then he reaches into a pouch and pulls out some berry-looking things, squishes them, and then plops those in the water. And eventually, all you see is all those gross-ass fish swimming their asses away from that little, like, I would say, pond-esque type beat upstream to get away from whatever he just threw in the water. And in his head, he's like, fuck, she don't know that that's what you gotta do to get rid of the fish? This bitch is stupid. This bitch is an idiot. What do you mean? He's like, even children know this. What are you doing? But that happens. She was able to drink some of the water. And he's also... I don't remember how they communicated that they can wash in there, but she gets very excited.
She, I believe, asked him, she's like, can I wash myself? Is that okay? And he's like, yeah, you can't. He gets in first because she's too scared to approach the water. She's like, what if they come back?
Yeah.
And so he gets in, and then as long as he's in, she's like, oh, I guess it's fine. If he's in it, then it's okay.
She gets very excited about being able to wash herself, obviously, because she's covered in muck and alien blood and just all bunch of gross ass shit. But while she's like being very excited, he starts again because he's going in first, undressing so that he can go in. And that's when she notices that he is big everywhere.
Hung like a horse, as she said.
I wrote that down specifically. That's in there.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
I remembered
she literally said that shit.
No notes. I didn't have to take notes. I just remembered. It sucks. Anyway. Okay, so that
hung like a horse. Yeah.
Literally.
Really never had much of a meaning until now. Is literally the whole quote. So that happens, and she also notices, well, she's, like, staring, obviously. She's like, what? Okay, now I get, like, an actual look at you without clothes. What's going on here? She's looking, and then, you know those ridges we were talking about earlier? We found out that they do be everywhere. They are everywhere. They continue everywhere. I'm not gonna say that, he's got freaking ridges on his blank. Fill in the blank, and you're correct. There you go. The word you thought of, correct. Just like the upraised texture along his chest, his brows, and his arms, he's got the bumpy, knotty ridges along the top of his pubis. His very big and very thick pubis. In addition to those ridges, he has an additional one that looks almost like another horn, except it's blunted at the tip instead of sharp. We get to find out what that does later.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that. Don't worry about it.
But if
We'll
you know,
circle
you know.
around. If you know, you
If
know.
you know, you know.
And while this is happening, they're kind of eye fucking each other, as I noted.
Mhm.
They're really the chemistry's there, clearly. It's
Mhm.
there. It's palpable. You could cut it with a fucking knife, you know?
You really could. There's a lot of tension in this.
He's a Coke
scene.
can as described. We're moving on.
Oh,
We're simply moving
my
on.
God. Why? Mm-mm.
And so she gets in and she's like, this is great. It smells a little gross, but then she's like, it smells like rotten eggs, but I know that happens in like naturally occurring hot springs. So she's like, obviously this is what this is on this planet. She's excited. It's warm. She's warm. She's like, oh my fucking God, it's warm in here. And she starts, trying to clean as best as she can. And then he comes over and is like, you remember those berries I pulled out? Here, take some of these. He squishes them. And then he, like, lathers her up with them. Because they become, like, soapy. And she's like, oh, shit, this is crazy. And he continues to wash her. And at first I was like, oh, this is very cute. And then it gets real handsy.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like,
Yep.
aha, okay, I see where this is going. So that happens. A lot of, again, all the tension, all the chemistry is happening. And after a point, she's like, you know what? I kind of like touching you. This is kind of nice. I would like to continue doing this. And also in her head, she's like, if I proposition, will that work? If I proposition with the promise of me going up this mountain and saving my girls, will that work? And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, girl boss.
Yeah, bitch.
Absolutely.
Of course.
I'm supporting
Do it.
your wrongs
Yes.
right now. Go for
Absolutely.
it. So she starts touching, you know? Then she starts at the chest and starts making her way down. She do start going, you know? And he's like, what the fuck? Hello? Yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
I'm paying
again
attention
is
now.
confused, but is like, okay, yes.
He's like, I'm paying attention. What's up? And she's like, mountain? We go up the mountain. And he's like, repeat that, please? I'm a little distracted. What are we talking about? And she's like, up the mountain. And he's like, oh, for real? And so he starts touching. And he's like, up the mountain? Is this what we're doing? Up the mountain? And, I guess at some point that they're like, bet. Because then they scurry the fuck out of that pool. And they start putting clothes back on. She hops up them. And he's like, alright, I'm off this bitch. At some point they made an agreement. Mountain, right?
Yes.
Um,
And then she teaches him how to kiss. Or what kissing
Well,
is.
that's later. We'll get to that part.
No, it's not.
Because that's key.
Literally before they go up the mountain.
Oh, it is. They do kiss.
Yeah, I'm not wrong. Cause she's like
yeah.
mountain, and then she like teaches him how to kiss and everything.
Yeah.
Or what
She
it
teaches
means.
them how to kiss. They French. They make out for a bit. And then they're like, all right, we got to get out of here. So we're back to piggybacking. He starts running. And then they stop. And she's like, why the fuck are we... They French hard too? Yeah, they really go for it. And she's like, why did we stop? And then realizes they're at another hunter cave. And she's like, no, you mountain. We said mountain. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
Obviously not. There's the clear misunderstanding that's going to continue happening for most of this book. And lack of communication. And so she's upset. And she's like, fuck it. I'm walking off on my own then. I'm leaving. And so she starts to walk away, and he's like, bitch, where are you going? No? And then she just keeps walking, and he's like, screaming. He's like, stop, idiot. Until eventually, her stupid ass falls off a cliff and starts sliding down a crevasse. And then we're like, this is why he told you. This is why he was warning you, stupid.
Yep.
But you,
Yeah.
like, not listening, apparently. So that's where we leave off part 2. And that's where we land into part 3. Where she lands hard into this hole that she fell into. And she's like, fuck, ow, everything hurts. My wrist hurts even more than it did before. Life's great. I'm so stupid. And there's like a small hole that she fell through that he can't fit through. So he peeks his head in and is like, bitch, are you okay? The fuck happened to you? And she's like, yeah, I'm fine. Until she realizes she is not alone in this little cavern. She looks around and she sees a bunch of creatures who are taller than her, although I don't think they're as tall as Vectel.
No.
She's like, they have enormous eyes, pointed faces, their mouths are small, they look almost cartoony, except for the matted pale hair that covers almost every inch of their body, and they smell like wet, dirty dog. And this stupid bitch is like, okay, if they kind of look like dog, then maybe they act like dog, and I can pet one.
To give a better idea what they look like, she says they look like Wookiees from Star Wars.
Yeah, she says they look like Wookiees from Star Wars, and also like small Yetis. Just so like mix those two together, and boom, there you go. Yeah. But she's like, maybe I can pet one, and maybe I can like, I can calm everything about this down. Maybe they're chill. She reaches her hand out, and that starts the fuckery on the gate. They start beating this bitch's ass. Jump her so bad.
They ganged on her.
They fuck her up. And it is the best paragraph that I got to read in this book because it was so funny. They're pulling her hair, they're punching her, they're kicking the fuck out of her. They're just whooping her ass like viciously. And she starts screaming because she's like, fuck, this hurts. Stop. I'm being jumped. And that
she
triggers
already has broken ribs.
Yeah, she already has broken ribs, and they kick them, which makes it even fucking worse.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think they were, like, fractured, but after the kick is like, no, this is, like, fucked now.
Yeah,
they're broken now.
She said it knocked the fucking wind out of her, basically, is how bad it was.
Yeah, another smacks my injured ribs, and the breath gets knocked out of me. I cough, and I roll around on the ground, trying to protect myself from their swings. She's getting her ass handed to her out here. And her screaming triggers her Vectel, her man, to be like, fuck it, we're breaking into this bitch. And he like comes slamming down this thing and is like, get your stupid ass up, we gotta go. He picks her up, they start running, except one of them still has a hand in her hair, and so that gets pulled, and she screams again, and so he turns around and kills that one. That one's dead. Absolutely moited. And they, like, book it the fuck out of there. I think he kills a few of them, and then they book it the fuck out of there.
I believe so, yes.
Blah, blah, blah. That one's dead. He takes her back to the hut, and she's like, clearly he's irritated. He's very visually mad.
Angry.
And she's like, she's like, all of this sucks. She's like, I'm hurt. It's cold. I just got my ass beat. He's mad at me. This shit is awful. She's like on the verge of tears. She's like, I fucking hate it here. But she's like, I'm waiting. Because he like says the word for stay in his language again. And she's like, yeah, I fucking get it. I'm staying. I know. I just got my ass kicked. I understand now. So he heads in to make sure, obviously, like, no weird creatures are in the hunter's cave. Makes it clear, makes it warm, brings her in. And then we switch to his perspective, I believe. And he's like, I almost lost this bitch. She's kind of stupid. Those things could have tore her apart. They've done it to children before. He's beating himself up because he's like, I just don't know what to do and I don't want to lose her. And then they end up, like, comforting each other in a sense. He holds her, she cries a little bit because she's like, you're mad at me now, and he's like, you're a fucking moron, but okay. He despairs in how helpless she is here. He's like, he's starting to piece it together a little more. He's like, clearly she cannot be from here. She just can't be if she doesn't understand how things work. It's impossible for her to be from here. But then where did she come from is what's going on in his head, you know, comforting. He ends up leaving to get some more food for her, and she ends up falling asleep out of distress and what I'm assuming is pain. And then she wakes up as he comes back. She's like, are we going up the mountain now? He opens, they have a little like leather flap in front of the caves to like keep the wind and the snow out. He opens that to show her that there's a huge snowstorm and they both realize they're like, fuck, that's not happening today then. And then
Yeah.
in his perspective, he's like, it's going to be a long day because days are long here. So it's going to be a long day of us doing absolutely fucking nothing. And while they're doing nothing, she continues to like learn the basic words that she can in his language to help this communication. Thank you for the coom. To help further the communication with them, to kind of help this whole situation. And as that is happening, she's like reaching out and touching things and is like, what's this? And he'll tell her the word in his language and she'll repeat it and repeat it. Yeah, what's this? What's this?
Like a child. Like a child. Which I thought was like so cute for some reason.
It was pretty cute until it got slutty.
Yeah, and then it
As
got
that's
real.
happening, she comes over and starts touching him and is like, what's this? And he's like, face. She's like, okay, what's this? And he's like, horns and fangs and, you know, stuff like that.
Skin, hair, etc.
Skin, hair, furs, all that type of shit. Horns. I'm trying to get to where, like, what led it to get spicy.
When she
Oh,
trails her
skin.
fingers
She's
down.
touching skin, yeah, and then she's trailing her
Yeah.
fingers down. And he's like, you gotta stop, bitch. You gotta stop. Literally, quote unquote, if she touches me again, I'm gonna throw her down and do some shit. You better stop playing with me. And she's like, at this point, she's like, I'm gonna go for it. So she's still touching, and then I guess she taught him no in English at some no. She knows no in his language, and he's
In
like,
his language.
puts a hand on her and is like, no. And that upsets her in a different way she
She's
didn't expect.
confused.
She's
Yeah.
confused, and she's also like, did this motherfucker just reject me? Hello? What is this? But she doesn't take no for an answer, which is not ideal. Well, she does a little bit. She asks why. She's like, why no? And then he pulls her hand
Literally.
down to something else and is like, this is why. You didn't want this earlier. So, what do we do it here? Except at this point, this bitch is like, I don't know what's going on with her. She's like,
Her feelings got
absolutely,
hurt suddenly.
her feelings
Like-
got hurt. And she's like, you know how I said no? I take all that shit
I'm a
back. We're
liar.
doing that
I'm a
now.
liar.
We're
I'm a
doing
liar.
that now.
I was kidding.
I'm a liar. And so, you know, a lot of stuff happens. There's more dinner being served.
Yep.
Some things happen a few times. They complete a lot of times. Turns out, you're really reaching for a record. Apparently, she really going for it. They end up fucking. They end up doing the devil's tango. And then, as you can see, the quote that I put here, that they said, that I realized that I wouldn't be super into these books when I first read it, and now looking back at it, I'm like, real subtle. I'm not on the pill, not that it matters now, and I'm pretty sure that since we're different species, you couldn't get me pregnant. And I'm like, it's supposed to be subtle, bitch. There's no subtlety about this shit. Thank you. Shadowing is supposed to be a little fucking, you know, a little tease, but okay, bitch. Apparently we're just saying it out loud now. So that happens, and then when I first read this, I was like, fuck, there's pregnancy in this? That's like my biggest... I don't want to hear that shit. I don't care. I don't like kids. I don't give a shit. I'm here for the fucking and nothing else. I don't give a fuck about these babies, but that's a big thing in this fucking series, so buckle in. This is where I mixed up where they kiss. This is my reaction to them kissing, and I was like, it's cute. It's adorable, and then they French. Oh, she finds out what the bony ridge can do.
Yep. Sure does.
It can, you know? Now, what I need you to imagine is the thing, the object, right? And then literally right above it, that's where that is. So imagine when the object is put into a place, where would that other ridge go?
It's almost like they make things in real
It's almost
life
like there are
shaped
a
like
lot
that.
of things that are shaped exactly like that.
Yeah.
That you can do a very quick Google,
Mm-hmm.
and you would know. I'm taking my hoodie off. Give me a second. It's hot. Unrelated to the book. It's just
hot in
literally
here.
hot in here.
Yeah, okay.
Where the hell did my haircut go?
I'll
There it is.
Google. Of course you would.
Yeah, you would. You absolute Menace to society?
Or, harlot. It's
Yeah.
hot, huh? Yeah, exactly.
No, it is like actually hot. It's getting fucking hot in here. I think the heater got turned on again, and I'm not happy about it.
Here, so take off all your clothes.
Literally. So they find out what that can do. And then, yet again, same goddamn chapter, after he finishes the race, right? Guess what this bitch says? It's a good thing. I wrote think in the thing, but it's wrong. It's a good thing you can't make me pregnant, buddy. What?
She says it again.
I'm getting real close. Miss Ruby, Miss Dixon.
Says it again.
We need to talk about foreshadowing and how it is supposed to work. Because as you could see in that doodle of me, that's me slapping the shit out of you. That's not subtle. I'm gonna need you to lean into the subtlety a little bit here, okay? That's not how this works. In the same chapter 2, woman, I'm gonna need you to relax.
Yeah.
We're gonna need to take an English literary class and re-find out. Do a hot Google on foreshadowing. Look at that definition again. So, if that wasn't... The first one wasn't enough confirmation, that tells you exactly what's gonna happen later. Tells you everything you need to know. Word for word.
Yeah.
And then that's where we get into part fucking 4, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, yeah, 4. You know, it's the next day after they got hot and heavy. And they did the sinful things. Oh, he's like real big about her boobs, by the way, because he's like, these things are soft. This rocks. This shit's
Literally,
awesome.
like, everyone... Man is saying what everyone is thinking.
Literally. You know, he heads out to go check traps to be like, you need food, and like water. I'll go get all that. She's like getting herself all furred up, ready to go back out into the cold. But we're in his point of view. He's on his way to check traps, and he comes across a frozen lump in the snow, and he's like, I gotta check this out. What the fuck is this? And then he sees a very familiar looking foot, because it is unlike his own. He sees a five-toed frozen solid foot, and is like, and it all the puzzle pieces snap into fucking place for him. He's like, oh fuck. She wants to go up the goddamn mountain because she's not here alone. He's like, that's why she wanted to go up there so badly. Fuck. And he doesn't know how many there are, so he's like, fuck, what if this was the only one? He starts booking his ass back to the cave. Georgie's getting ready, and all of a sudden he comes back in here and he's like, we gotta go. Get ready now. Quickly. He's helping her put her shit on. He's like, I have to show you something. Come on.
And yet again, she is confused.
She's, again, because neither of them can talk to each other, so she's just like, he's clearly rushing me. We have to go. So they rush out there, they get there, and she goes closer to the lump to see that it is a redhead, which there was only one redhead on the ship with them, and it is unfortunately Dominique, and Dominique is now frozen fucking solid, dead in the snow, which is upsetting. But that finally gets both of them. She's crying. She's like, fuck. Why is she out here? Did they send more people out here after I didn't come back? Did something happen? Fuck. So they're both like, we have to go now. Like, on both fronts now, it's, oh god, move. Speed. We gotta get there. So they start getting their asses up there. It takes them like 2 hours, I think, with him on like full fucking tilt. Fast boy mode to get there. She and it's like wedged in sideways, I believe the hole is. So they both have to climb up. She gets in there. She tries to peek her head into the hole that she climbed out of when she left and gets smacked in the fucking face with a snowball. And I believe screamed at. And so she's like, okay, thank fuck, they're here. And at least some of them are still alive. She drops in. He drops in after her. They're a little scared. But then she's like, no, he's with me. We're here to rescue. He's my friend. And then he walks up and puts a hand on her, grabbing her towards him, and is like, I don't know these people, so you stay by me. And she's like, it's good, it's all good. She tries to get him to make a fire and start cooking the food, but he keeps the food latched to his belt on him so that he can like move around and do shit. And she goes to reach for that, and he says something to her, which Kira, our girly pop with the translator, stapled to her ear, by the way. We didn't say that it was viciously like stapled onto her.
Like a cow, you know,
Yeah.
when you tap a cow, so yeah.
Stapled to her ear. She's like, did this motherfucker just call you? Like, he said, do you want to mate here now? She's like, what the fuck what are y'all talking about? And they all start roasting this bitch alive. They're like, you out here fucking these aliens, bitch? They're like, it's fucking cold in here, we're dying, and you out here fucking? They give her shit. She eventually gets him to, she asked him to make a fire, and he's like, there's no firewood anywhere around here. I gotta go get some. I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
This bitch has the nerve to be like, mate? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And while they're gone, she continues to they continue to rip her ass up. They're like, you out here getting pounded. Just slapping meat with this man, and we're in here starving to death.
Yep.
And he's gone, and he's like, oh my god, there's 5 other women in there. This is so great for our fucking village. Maybe one of them will resonate to the other unmated men, you know? He's like, this is so great for all of us. We gotta get them some cute quees, though. Or else shit's gonna get bad. But while he's gone, she's like taking care of the girls. This is on the next page. She's taking care of the girls, and she's like cleaning them up a little bit because they're obviously still covered in like shit from being there. And while she's doing that, she notes that they're all very weak because they haven't eaten in a while. Tiffany, which is another one of the girls, looks like she has frostbite on her toes and her fingers. Josie is very like listless and weak, and Megan has like a really bad fucking cough. She has a disgusting cough going on. Yep. So they're all alive, but they're clearly not doing fucking good at all. And in her head, she's starting to feel a little guilty because she's like, oh, I'm doing fine because I've been getting fed, and I've had fires, and I've been getting my shit destroyed every night. Well, I feel like an asshole now. And then they bring up, Liz is like, you didn't ask about Dominique, I noticed. And she's like, yeah, we found her body. And they just basically said she had a full mental breakdown and kind of just like fucked off and ended up dying out there because she was unequipped, which is unfortunate. But, you know, that's what happened to Dominique. R.I.P.
Yeah, they had some creatures also like running around the outside. Well, not running, but circling the ship.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, there's something in here, but they couldn't get in.
They couldn't get in.
Just couldn't take it anymore.
And the way that they described, I believe the noises made it seem like it was the Metlax, the little fucking Wookiee type things.
Yes. And they were making
so they're
kind of like owl noises, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what they were saying.
And so she was like, shit's fucked, I'm out, and then died out there. And then Liz also asks, she's like, he's really protective of you, huh? You're his mate. Talking shit a little more. And she's like, I guess. And she's like, how do you think he's gonna feel when you tell them we don't want to stay here? And Georgie's like, oh, fuck, I didn't think of that part. And she starts internal monologuing. She's like, do I want to stay here? I don't know. He's better than anyone I've ever had before. And so she says with her full chest, she's like, fuck it, I might stay, actually. I don't mind it here. And so they're like, alright, crazy. Fectel comes back. He has food. He builds a fire. She is starting to hand out food to the other girls. He's not happy about that because he's like, I got some of this for you. You need to eat. But also she's like, these bitches are starving. Let them eat first. She eventually eats. She gives them furs. He's not happy about that because he's like, I'm trying to keep you specifically warm. And she's trying to keep them all warm because they're dying in there. And eventually they're like, fuck it. We'll figure out rescuing shit tomorrow. We sleep tonight. Everyone's happy. They have had food. They're a little warmer than they were. They all fall asleep. as they're sleeping, these two chuckle fucks are cuddled up in a corner.
Not even sleeping, trying to sleep. They're not
Trying
asleep
to
yet.
sleep. They're not asleep yet. He starts
not
getting
asleep
handsy, and all the other girls are like, "Are they about to fuck? What's happening?"
Get some girlfriend.
They're like, "Are they about
That's one
to?"
of them.
Yeah. They're literally like, "Ew," but also go for it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But Georgie ends up shutting that down. She's like, "No, no, 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 no." She's addicted to what his dick did.
Like,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, literally. Though. She is.
And then the next morning comes up and they're like, he's like, "I can't carry all of you, clearly. So me and Georgie are gonna head the fuck out of here." Oh, also, Kira can understand him, by the way. There's a little bit of translating happening. That's making this a little easier, since she has the translator.
And they do talk about the Kui.
Yeah.
They also talk
He
about that.
keeps saying Kui, but she's like, "What is Kui?" Like, they don't go into
Yeah.
specific details. He tells them is like, "You guys need Kui, or you're gonna get sick." And that's
like
basically all it
sickness.
boils down to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they head out to go get more hunters from his tribe, which she finds out that he has, so that they can help them get the fuck out of there. They head out, and then
his tribe. He's the chief.
Yeah, he is the chief. We found out he's the chief, and she's like, "Oh shit, okay."
Big boss man, yeah.
Big boss man. While they're on their way there, he's really speeding for it. They're like booking it because they're like, "We got to get these bitches out of here. They're not doing well." They stop at what he says is another cave. They go in there, you know. They fuck again, if you could believe it. They absolutely go for it yet again. And while she's in her happy to finish the race state, she sees a fucking light blink in the wall, and she's like, "What in the world was that?" So she gets up and she takes a closer peek and is like, "Oh my god, this is a spaceship. We're inside a spaceship. This is a ship. It's just frozen in ice. It's covered in ice, but this is a ship." She's like, "That's technology behind this fucking wall." And he clearly doesn't understand her, but she gets her ass up. She takes one of the pieces of firewood from the fire, and they start helping thaw the fucking walls out, because she's like, "Oh my god, this is a ship. This is great. This can help us. We can get the fuck out of here, maybe." She thaws it out enough to be able to see. I don't know if she sees a screen or if she just hears things.
So now, girly pop decides she's gonna like pick at the ice, and then Vector goes, "You stupid bitch, we have fire.
Oh, does
Melt the fucking ice." Yeah, that was something I really had to know, because it was so funny to me, because he was like, "You dumbass, we have fire." So he lights the fire, takes a stick and like makes her a little torch, and then hands it to her. She's like, "Oh yeah."
She's
So
like,
she
"Oh,
just
I'm
out the fire. I'm
stupid."
like, Jesus fucking Christ, girly pop. Anyway.
So yeah, they end up thawing the walls out until they get enough to where she can see like a control panel, I believe. I'm trying to scroll there, but my Kindle takes fucking forever. And she sees a few buttons, and she sees the one that was specifically the one that caught her attention, the one that was blinking. And so she's sitting there, and she's going back and forth, and she's like, in her head, she's like, "This could be our way off of this planet." And then she's like, "But what, do I even want to leave? I'm kind of happy here. I like him. I like being here. He takes care of me." But then she's like, if there's a way off, I have to find it for the other girls too. And then she's like, "Do I want to hit this button? What if it kills us? What if it like fills this bitch with like gas or something?" And then she like looks at him and then looks at the wall and is like, "Fuck it," and presses the button. And I'm like, "Okay, bitch, you didn't think that hard about it, but go for it. It could have killed you." It starts like a humming, like it's powering up. It's powering up something clearly, and it kind of freaks them both out. I believe he like clutches her closer to him. And then a voice starts to like be heard that's speaking a language that she clearly can't speak. Can he speak it? Is it that
he
language?
cannot speak it either. It's a different language altogether.
So they're both confused, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then I think she says something out loud in English that then prompts the voice to go,
"Yes.
Oh, do you want me to speak English? I have 200 languages I could speak. Do you want me to switch to English?" And she's like, "Please? Thank you?" What the fuck?
20,000. I'm sorry, but
20,000, sorry.
20,000 languages. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to scroll that part.
No, you're
It
good.
takes
Yeah.
forever. This is
And
them
it's asking her-
fucking. This is the
Yep.
light.
Mhm.
It's asking her, is like, okay, so you want me to switch to this one? And then it's like, do you want me to change the temperature to be this inside? And I think it was the one suited to, what they call the fucking species that I'm trying to get to.
Modified ska?
Saka.
Ska-
Yeah.
Saka?
Saka.
Something
One
like
of them.
that. Saka? I
Yeah.
don't know.
And he's like, do you want me to change the temperature to this for Saka or this to humans? And she's like, what the fuck is a Saka? And he's like, the voice is like, the AI is like the organism you're standing next to. That's what that is. And she's like, what the fuck? They have a name? And they're like, yeah, they're suited for this, but this one's modified for the planet, so they can be suited for this now. And she's like, what do you mean modified it? Ugh, I can't speak. What do you mean that they're, like, adapted to the planet? And this fucking thing tells her that not only is this motherfucker not, well, I guess they're native now, didn't used to be native to this planet. This ship crash fucking landed on this planet 287 years ago, in not Hoth years, by the way, which we found out are longer than Earth years. So they've been there for a while. And they're like, that's crazy. How did they survive here that long? And then it begins to tell her what the fuck a Quee is, everyone. Buckle in.
Here we go.
It's like, oh, they were able to survive because they accepted the symbiote. And she's like, the what? Excuse me? You want to repeat that one? And they're like, yeah, the thing that does this. So it turns out, motherfuckers, it was a pleasure. Hold on, I have it right here. It was a pleasure cruiser that crashed because the pilot had a heart attack. The pilot had a heart attack, and so it crashed on this shitty planet, and then they were stuck here. And we finally find out what a Q is. The Quee, I keep saying Q because that's how I read it like an idiot. Quee is a symbiont. It filters out the toxin in the atmosphere, which they said is similar to nitrogen, but it hasn't been discovered by humans and it doesn't exist on Earth, obviously.
Yeah.
But your body can't do that. And so they're like, this thing filters the atmosphere for you so that you can breathe and survive. And so your organs don't fucking shut down.
Yeah, basically you have 8 days before your entire
Without
body
it, you a person can only survive 8 days. And they've been there already, what, like fucking 4 or 5 days, I think, at this point.
Yes, I believe it's going on 5 because they're going to the tribe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's 5 days now.
And so they don't have much fucking time left.
Nope.
Symbiote, Eddie, you need to eat out that lady. You need to go. This is
That's
what
why
you
I'm
come
like,
in.
Venom?
Venom? Also, yeah, but it's not, unfortunately. It's
But
not.
No. It's
And so she's like, fuck. If we can't find a way out of here, we're gonna die. And then let me go ahead and go to the next page. A click. The fucking ship also tells her, because Vectel says something because he hears the word Quee being spoken. And she's like, to the AI, she's like, can you translate that for me? And the AI is like, do you just want to learn the language, bitch? I can just you can get a one-time linguistic upload and you can speak it. And she's like, yeah, thank you.
This.
I know. You know how great
I want
this would
this
be?
so bad. I was like, bro, this would be fucking awesome. If I could learn a language in seconds, absolutely.
Oh my god, it'd be incredible. But yeah, she's like, yeah, give me that, please. It would make everything that's been happening so much easier. And so it zaps her in the fucking eyeball and she passes out. It uploads knowledge to her. How? They don't explain it. I don't think fucking ever. It just zaps you and you know the thing.
it scans her eye. So basically, they're like, "Don't fucking blink," and so she
Yeah.
just stands there, and then they like scan her eye, and then that's when she like passes out for a second. And is like, "What the fuck happened?"
I freeze in place. A red laser shines into my eyes.
Yeah.
You may experience some discomfort as your brain processes the information. There's a rush of symbols crashing into her brain. It feels like her head's gonna explode, and then she passes the fuck out.
Yeah, there you go.
That happens. Vectel catches her and is like, "What the fuck happened?" And the AI is like, she'll be a few minutes. I'm gonna shut down until you need me." And it shuts down, and he's sitting there, and he's like, "What the fuck is happening? I don't know what magic this is." She wakes up. He's mad at it. She wakes up and starts speaking, and she's like, "Oh, your language is like beautiful. This is great." And he's like, "You could fucking speak to me now, bitch? What the hell?" He literally says it's magic because they apparently at some point lost the knowledge of technology, as we can tell with their fucking primitive ass shit that they're doing. So he's like, "What the fuck did this cave do to you?" But he's extremely, extremely excited that they can talk finally. But with being able to communicate comes the problem of he's like, "Oh yeah, so you guys are going to stay and you're going to get the cue and then you guys are going to resonate, right?" And she's like, "That is not a decision that, number one, I can make for everyone, and I don't know that I want to make it for myself." She's like, "This is a lot." She's like, "I don't know that I want a symbiote. I don't know that the girls want to fucking stay here. I don't know that I want to stay here fully right now." And so it's just a huge, like, back and forth between them on that subject. And I wrote down the quote that I liked where she was like, "Whatever we decide, we'll decide as a group. We'll be making decisions not just for the 6 of us, but the 6 still tucked away in the wall." Because at this point, she's very biased. She does like this motherfucker, like, quite a lot. She does like him. She likes that he takes care of her. She likes that he makes her finish a lot. She's like, "I like it here, but I'm not going to make this decision for everyone. That's not my decision to make." And I also have the other quote that she said. Oh, give me a second. But essentially it was like, "I've had everything else taken away from me. I need to be able to make this decision for myself. I need to be able to decide this for me." Which I also liked a lot. That was a good quote.
That was a very good quote. And not to mention the whole, they do touch up on the mating thing.
Yeah, the mating thing.
Tells her why the queen and all that, how it works.
Yeah, he's like, "The queen is like your soulmate. You're meant for me, and we're supposed to be together forever." And she's like, "This is whole. I thought we were just fucking. What is going on here?"
Yeah. And yeah, so she's confused, and he's like, "The fuck? Why are you confused?" And she's like, "No,
she's like, "We don't have that where we come from. We just like choose
that. We choose our mates. We don't just let something else choose for us. That's not how it fucking works." So
but he doesn't understand that because that's just that's how it works here. Is it gets chosen for you?
But he's respectful.
He is very respectful. You love how Vectel was super supportive of her making choices. Yes. Yeah, also in his head, this whole time, he was like, "This is gonna fucking kill me if she leaves. This is gonna suck if she leaves." But he's also like, "If she leaves, she leaves. I can't make her stay. That's not my choice."
Again, he's so respectful. And I'm like, okay, say less. I get it. Yeah.
There's a quote that he says at the end of this chapter that I like. Where she was like, "You'll do anything for me, won't you?" And he basically is like, "Yeah, I will. Yes, I will."
Yeah. He's down bad. The fuck?
Yeah,
you think he won't?
He's very down bad. And so they decide after being able to speak finally, she's like, "We need to," now knowing that it can fucking kill them in like 3 days. They're both like, "All right, we need to like not even sleep here for the night. We have to go. We have to go back to the tribe tonight." So they start booking their ass there. They get there. And as they're arriving, they come across another of the Saka hunters. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce this name. His name is Ra. On the way,
that's his name.
He is like, "What the fuck is this thing that you got with her?" And Vectel explains a little bit. They're resonated. They're mates. She's a human. He's like, "She looks a little weird, I'll be honest." And he's like, "I don't know what the fuck that's got to do with you, but okay." And then Ra finds out that there are 5 other women that are there, and he gets very excited about the prospect of there being more of them and being able to resonate to one. And that's throwing up alarms for fucking Georgie, who's like, we literally just had this conversation like an hour ago, and she's like, no one is being mated without their agreement. That's not how this shit's gonna work. And Vectel, right behind her, is like, yep, she said what she said. And my boy Ra is very upset about that, very aggressive. And he's like, no, if they resonate, we resonate. And Vectel's like, no, that's not how this is gonna work now. Unfortunately, it's not how this is gonna work.
No.
They eventually get past this, and they're like, we're gonna keep going into this fucking, into the tribe. They get in there, she sees that it's like a huge hollowed out cavern that splits off into other like little caves and has like hot springs built into it and everything. It's like a nice little setup these motherfuckers got in there.
So nice, yeah.
They're all like
heaven, bro.
in the hot springs nude, hanging out. People are weaving baskets. People are curing leather. There's kids running around. Everything's like lit for them, right? And obviously, as they start walking through, everybody is like, what the fuck is that thing that you got with you? What is that? And literally at some point, some kid points and is like, why is she so fucking ugly? What is this?
Literally.
And then Vectel does a whole speech that I thought honestly was a little cheesy, where he's like, she may look different, but I love her. She's my mate. And I'm just like,
Rightfully
alright.
so, King. Okay,
Ham it up. Eventually he calls out, he's like, we need to see the healer, Malik. We'll be in my fucking cave. Send her ass this way. They get in there. I believe they kiss. I'm gonna skip past it because it's not important. He's like, I'll be back after the healer talks to you. I need to go round up the hunters and inform them of like what's going on and how we gotta get there. So he heads off. The healer comes in. She tries to help heal Georgie's wrist, is where she starts, and I assume she was gonna go for the ribs and everything else, but they find out that she cannot help her because Georgie does not have a Qui, and Malik's special like ability is that her Qui can resonate on a I don't want to say resonate because that means something else. It can like reach out towards the other Qui and like help speed up healing for other people. But she can't do that because Georgie doesn't have one. So she's like, I'll just wrap this bitch up for you, I guess. There's nothing really I can do here. So they're talking while she's wrapping it up, and she finds out that Malik is resonated. She has a mate in the tribe, and she was like, is resonating bad? And she was like, no, she's trying to sit there and describe what resonating feels like. And they go through of if it feels like adrenaline, and she's like, it's so much more than that, because it's not just like physically, it's like emotionally. Everything changes for you, and like that person's your person. And she was like, I wasn't happy with the person that I was mated to at first, but eventually, you know, the love was found and formed there. And she was like, oh, then who were you with before your resonant mate? And she's like, oh, Vectel. We used to smash. And Georgie's like, oh, what the fuck? And she's jealous for a second, and then the jealousy turns into like pity because she's like, oh fuck, sadness. He was like, he was happy, and then his like bitch got taken, and now he's just lonely because there's no other women here. And so she's like, I'm gonna JFK this motherfucker when he gets back here. He's getting the presidential fucking treatment. And so we cut to Vectel with the men of the village, the hunters of the village tribe, and he's like, there are some bitches out in the ice. We gotta go save them. They are unmated. You can resonate to them. But we gotta like be gentle. They're not gonna want it. You know, he's a little iffy during that. He's like, I don't know how they're doing or what they're gonna feel, but you know it's possible. And then they start asking about like physically, because they're like, obviously you fucked this bitch. What's going on in there? How's that work? And he explains about the third nipple and everything. And eventually it just ends with them all being really excited to go on this rescue party in the morning because they're like, we could find a mate up here. Shit's looking great. He heads back to his cave where Georgie was asleep, but then woke up for him. And she gives him that sloppy toppy. The gluck gluck. The spin cycle, as I put it.
Yep.
And then they continue on that path for the race. They finish the race. While still connected, they decide to cuddle and spoon. And he's behind her, and she finds out that the spur, which she found out the name for, presses somewhere else. It goes to other places. But while that's happening, she's like, he says the word for child in his language. And she's like, is this what this meant? Because this is the images popping up for me. And he's like, yeah, you'll look great having my kid. And she's like, I don't think that's possible, buddy. We're like two different, species. And he's like, no, another lore drop that we get about the Quee. He's like, no, the Quee literally pick the person who can give you kids. That's part of it. They literally pick the person who you can, I'm trying to think of a word that's not the word that I thought of, because that word upsets me viciously.
What?
I was gonna say inseminate, and I really hate that. But it's
like
true.
That word.
It literally picks the person who is like, you're gonna make a baby. Y'all gonna make babies. Yeah. And so she starts freaking the fuck out. I believe she literally calls him an asshole.
Yes, she does. Yeah. And he's like, what's an asshole? Like, he's like, he doesn't get it.
He's like, what the fuck is that? And she's like,
and she's fucking swearing. Fuck, shit. Realized that she hadn't had her period yet.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm never fucking late. So she's like, shit. And then it cuts.
He does not understand those words.
No,
he's
not
like,
at all.
Like, the fuck?
And then we hard cut to the next morning where she's piggyback on him. Him and all the other hunters, we're speeding through the fucking snow, making our way back to the other bitches in the ice. And all she can think about is like, fuck, I'm pregnant. God, I'm probably pregnant. Shit, I'm pregnant right now. Fuck, what am I gonna do? What does this mean now? What are the other girls like? Ah, shit. And then she's also like, well, I don't hate the idea. I'm not upset at that idea. I've always kind of wanted kids. This isn't how I seen it happening, but I'm not upset about it. He's a good guy. He, like, makes me feel good. I like him. He takes care of me. All that shit. They stop for the night. They take a one-night stop. They stop back at the quote-unquote Elder's Cave, which is the frozen spaceship that they found. And some of the hunters get English zapped into their fucking brain. Yep. Which is great. That was funny. My boy Raw, that, like, red flag, stepped up first to get the language, which she was like, yeah. I'm gonna note that, and I'm not happy about how, like, ready he is for this.
And Bechtel was like, yeah, me too. You know, like, he took notes as well.
They're both like, not a huge fan of this. He seems way too pumped about this. They eventually, sleep. They get on in the morning. They make their way back to the fucking cargo bay. They find the girls. I believe Vectel jumps in first, but she's like, yes. I don't like that I didn't hear any noise after he jumped in. Are they okay? And then she ends up coming down, and she's like, you guys? Hello? And she, I think it's Liz sits up first, and it's like, oh, hey, you're back.
Yeah, I believe so. She sees Tiffany, and then she sees, Liz, and then Tiffany. Yeah.
But they're all huddled together under the furs that they left, and they are all very clearly worse than they were before. Like, shit has super, super hit the fan. They're all very pale. They're all very weak. They're all skinny as fuck. Tiffany won't wake up. It's very clear that the Quee sickness is, like, fucking them up badly. But they start going into, like, hyperdrive, taking care of these bitches, getting them to sit up, shoving water into Tiffany, I believe, getting fire set up for food, all of it. And as they're doing that, there's a sound of purring in the air, And Georgie stands up immediately and is like, who the fuck resonated? Which one of you motherfuckers did it? And the purring, like, goes down a little bit, but nobody steps forward because they're like, oh, fuck, this bitch is angry. And they continue to do that. And I think another one resonates. I think, like, 2 of them resonate that day.
There was,
And
like,
she's like, this is fucked up. These assholes are fucking resonating. But they start, like, feeding them and stuff. And she catches them up on what's going on. And she's like, hey, so, found a spaceship.
Takes the men out first.
Oh, yeah, she kicks the men out. She's like,
please
take these motherfuckers hunting,
privately.
go get some food, but we need, as a group, to, like, talk. Get the fuck out of here. So they get out. A few of them stay around the entrance to, like, keep an eye out, but the rest of them, like, fuck off. And so they sit around, and she catches them up. She's like, hey, I found a spaceship. Good news. Bad news. I don't know that it's usable. I don't know that it can get us out of here. It's a possibility, but I don't know. She's like, number 2, we're gonna fucking die here if we don't take this Kui. If we don't get this symbiote into us, we might die here. And so they decide to put it up to a vote to be like, do we want to try to stay and accept this Kui and all that comes with it, or do we want to wait for the aliens to come back here and maybe fight them off and try to take control of the ship again and try to get them to take them back to Earth? But a lot of the girls are like, babes, I can't fight. I'm doing bad. You know, we're all weak. We're starving. None of this is good. And they're like, even if we take control of the ship, who says they're gonna, like, take us back to Earth? Like, they can't be trusted, clearly. She's like, they could just, like, kill us again. Like, there's no guarantee for anything. And so they're like, they all vote, and they're like, fuck it, I guess we're staying here. If they're all is like, and Georgie, while this conversation is happening, is like, I need to explain to you guys, if you take this Kui and you resonate, it's going to pick your partner, and that partner's also going to try to get you preggo, babe. Like, this shit's like, you're getting mated if we take this. And they're all like, you know what? If they treat us as well as Vectel treats you, we'll just fucking deal with it, bud. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then what we both forgot to talk about earlier was that these bitches, fun fact, all of these women who are awake, are the spare humans that have been taken. That's why they were kept so badly. That's why they were, like, shitting in a bucket. They were the extras. Behind them, in the cargo bay, is a wall with, like, hibernation chambers with 6 other women who are assumedly alive and asleep in there, who don't know what's going on. And so not only were they voting for themselves, they were like, we're voting for the ones in the pods, I guess. And they don't. Well, actually, to stay. It wasn't quite with the Kui. They were just like, I don't think there's a way out, so I don't know what to do with them. Yeah. But they can decide whether they want the Kui or not once we wake them up. But they're like, clearly we can't try to fight the aliens. That's the decision they came up with. So they all decide to stay, the ones who are awake, and they all decide that they should wake up the other girls so that they don't get taken when the aliens come back. Which, fun fact, Georgie didn't tell Vectel about. Did not tell this motherfucker that there were 6 other humans in there. Completely forgot. So he comes back, and she's like, I need to talk to you. She did think about telling him. Yeah.
She did, but then she was like, it's fine. Like, what?
I'm assuming it was like, because she was like, I don't know what we're gonna decide on, so if we decide to, like, not go with these men, then it doesn't matter to them. Right. So she pulls him aside and is like, I need to talk to you. She's like, good news, I'm staying here, and so are these 5 other women that are with me. But she's like, surprise news, there's 6 more of these bitches, and they're in the walls. And so they, like, thaw the walls out. They get the women out one by one and, like, explain what's going on to them, feed them, give them water. I don't fully remember how that whole process goes, but I'm assuming, you know, there was some crying, there was some, like, what the fuck is happening?
So much crying, so much just wailing, so much confusion. Everyone was so fucking scared out of their mind. And so
Understandably, you know?
Vectel sees that he's like, oh, this is gonna take a minute, so we gotta be patient. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna have to
So
wait on
he's
these
like,
bitches
oh,
to
fuck,
catch
we're
up.
gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there still discussing with the now women who are new to the situation. And they're like, we
Yep.
don't know what we're gonna do. We just know that tonight we're bunkering down and we'll figure it out in the morning. Until, ladies and gentlemen, there is a high-pitched whine that can be heard throughout the cargo bay. And Kira, our baby with the translator, clamps her fucking hand over her ears. And she's like, oh my fucking god, they're coming back, they're coming back, they're coming back, we have to leave. We have to leave now, they're coming back for us. So they didn't really explain this part, but oh my god, you scared the shit out of me.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Thank you for the why are you running, that scared the shit out of me. They didn't explain them doing this, but they explained the aftermath. Basically, they gathered all the women up, and they're like, clearly we need to go, so we're leaving. They cut the trackers out of their fucking arms. They get all the trackers together. They send another hunter, Pashov, to the nearest Metlik cave to drop those fucking trackers in. And they're like, if the aliens come back, they're gonna find those vicious little Wookiees. So he's off doing that. They're making their way... Yeah, basically. Well, no, not Wookiees. What the fuck?
I thought it was, wasn't it? Or was
it
it
Wookiees?
snowcats?
No. What are the smaller ones?
I don't remember.
You know what
There's
I'm saying,
something.
chat.
Yeah.
They're making their way out of
Eagles.
there. Ewoks, thank you. Fuck me, my brain.
Ewoks. There you go.
They're making their way out of there, and while they're making their way out of there, a hunter who was further up scouting is like, hey, we found the
The thing that has a bunch of
the
Kiwis
thing that
inside
has
of
the
it.
Kiwis inside of it. We found one. And so they're like, well, now's the time because you guys need it now, so now's the time. We're going to take this fucking thing down.
It's rare to find them. They travel alone, so
Yeah.
it was meant to be, clearly.
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
And so they take the women over to like a tree line, and they're like, you guys fucking stay here. We'll be back. We gotta go deal with this thing. And while all that's happening, it's a big like action scene. There's like the ground starts rumbling because that's how like big this fucking thing is. There was a description. I'm not gonna bother to find it because it wasn't like super great, but this thing is like huge and it's mean and it's bad, you know?
Yeah.
And so the hunters are all around it, trying to take this fucking thing down. Vectel, like, swings up on its fucking head at some point and starts stabbing it in the head until it dies, which was, like, crazy.
Furiously.
That shit was crazy.
Furiously stabbing. It was.
And then he comes back covered in blood, and she's like, you scared the shit out of me. And he's like, I got your queen, come here. So they gather around the dead thing.
That's basically what it was.
They cut this fucking thing open. They start reaching around its guts until they cut open another thing inside of it. And inside of it are where we find the Quee, which we find out are like, oh, it was the heart, are like worms.
Giant ass heart.
The Quee are
the
worms.
heart was also glowing.
The heart was glowing. I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was emanating some kind of light, and they were like, the fuck is that? And it was the heart, and then he cuts open the heart, and they're little worms, and I hated that part.
I believe they're glowing,
worms?
right? That's why it was glowing.
Yeah,
so
that's why the heart was glowing, yeah. So they
glow, and the Saka are like, all right, you bitches ready? Time to go. Time to symbiote up. And everybody's like, fuck. And then they all turn to look at Georgie. And they're like, bitch, are you ready? And she's like, apparently, I'm the fucking first one. All right. And so she walks up and she's asking questions. She's like, is it going to hurt? And they're like, we don't know. We usually give it to babies and they can't really tell us and they don't have memory of it. So they're like, we don't know. And she's like, what if it goes to my brain? And someone else, I don't remember who exactly, was like, bitch, it's going to your heart. What the fuck are you worried about your brain for?
Yeah, that was Liz.
Yeah, Liz is like, bitch, it's going to your heart.
What the
fuck are you worried about your brain for?
She's like, the fuck?
And so she finds out they need to do a little slit on her neck, and that's where it's going to go in. And so she steps up, And she's like, do I do this or do you do it? And Vectel's like, I can do it for you,
Panicking.
because clearly you can't.
She's panicking.
She's panicking. He does it, you know, and then the worm starts going by her neck, and then she can feel it going in. She can feel it burrowing its way in and moving through her veins. Her vision starts to blur. She starts to panic. She's sitting there. She's like, fuck, I made a mistake. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. And then all of a sudden, she stops feeling stuff, except for she's starting to feel warm and like really warm. And then there's a weird like humming sound, and then she passes out. This bitch passes out for, I believe, the third time. This story, no. Well, I wouldn't call that passing out. She was knocked out from the crash. So yeah, third time she passes out. She then wakes up, clearly hours later, because it's nighttime and like they're building fires and such. She sits up to like take a look at her surroundings, and I believe Vectel's there, and he's like, "You're awake?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm awake." She's like, "Oh." She sees a snowflake fall on her arm, and she's like, "Oh shit, I'm warm now. That doesn't even affect me. I'm warm. This shit's crazy." And then she's asking about the other girls. She was like, "Did they do fine?" And he was like, "Yeah, they all took the Qui. You were a great leader. You made it look brave, and you did, you know, the good thing. They all took it. They're all doing good. They're all being doted on by the fucking hunters. They're getting fed with furs and fire, you know?" And then she's like, "Hold up. There's a bitch missing." She's like, "Wait a fucking minute. One of these hoes is missing. Where's Liz?" And he's like, "This motherfucker Raw took off with Liz when I wasn't paying attention." He's like, he ran off with her. She's obviously angry. She's like, "Is he gonna hurt her?" And Vectel's like, "No, he's gonna like try to get her to resonate. And he's also gonna like basically do what I did. He's gonna take great care of her. He's gonna make sure she's fed and warm, but he just took her off, and that's like not good." And she's like, "Yeah, not happy about it." He's like, "No, I'm not happy about it either." But then she's sitting there thinking about Liz, and she's like, "Honestly, Ra's got a lot cut out for him right now." She's like, "Good luck to that motherfucker." She's like, "You took the wrong one, buddy."
She's a firecracker, literally. Like, she is that bitch. So
she is that bitch, and she's like, he's gonna bring her ass back any day now. So that happens, and then she's like looking around, and all the other girls are like safe and warm, and they're being like fed and stuff, and so she's like, "That's great, that's cool." And then she starts to feel what the Qui's doing to her, right? Not just the warmth. She's like, I feel a lot. She's like, I feel a lot. There's a lot happening. And they both look at each other. And so he looks at her, and I think he picks her up, and he's like, "We'll be back. You know, see y'all in a bit. We'll be back."
Somewhere private, yeah.
Somewhere private. They go somewhere private. They go until they reach a flat rock that's about waist high, I believe is what it said. And as you can see from the quote that I wrote down, she's like, "This far," she's like, "We're gonna stop here." And he says, "Here, we are far enough away that when they hear you scream with pleasure, they will not think to come and rescue you." I'm gonna go ahead and let that one sink in for you people a little bit, because that was a bar. She gives him the spin cycle yet again, but that's not enough for either of them now that they're both resonating. And a thing that I did not mention before, when she found out that the spur was pressing into something else, is they talked about it, and she was like, "Do you guys ever do it that way?" And he's like, "No, the tails kind of get in the way, so we don't really do that here." But she's like, "I don't have a tail, so
yeah." She's like, "I don't got one. We could do that right now." Because she's
So
already envisioning it in her brain, and she's like, "Let's do that." Yeah.
So she bends over, and they, devil's tango it up. And the spur presses in. It sure does press in, let me tell you. But literally, they're fucking, as they're going at it, they see bright lights in the sky, and they both fucking freeze. They're like, hello? They both freeze.
Balls deep. Literally balls
literally,
deep in this bitch.
Like, literally. Balls deep in. They both freeze because the spaceship with the aliens that abducted them is back. And it's hovering over the cargo bay that they just left. And then it like circles around the mountain a little more until it goes to what Georgie assumes is where they dropped the trackers. It hovers over there for a bit, for a long while, or what they feel like is a long while, until finally it fucks off. It goes back to space, and it's like, I guess we just lost them. You know? We'll take one. We'll take the loss.
Metlax.
Yeah, they're like, we don't want these annoying little pieces of shit, so we're just gone. It leaves. I'm gonna flip to the next page. They continue where they left off when they were balls deep. They finish that, and then they like lay down together on the rock, and they talk about what the future's gonna be like for them, you know? And like, I guess we're just here forever. We're gonna have kids, you know? It's gonna be weird, but this is our life now.
And that's how book 1
And that's the end.
ends.
That's the end of book 1. How did we feel, chat? What were your guys' thoughts and feelings on Ice Planet Barbarians?
It was a lot.
It was a
First
lot.
of all,
It is understandably
it was
a lot.
I will say I did not expect to fall in love with like the lore of the world.
Yes, that's what I keep telling everyone, is that this is why I keep saying it's okay if you don't want to write smut. You can just write fantasy, because the lore is so fascinating to me.
It was very interesting, because now I have all these questions of like, well, why did they come here?
Why did they come here?
They explained
At
it,
what
but it's
point
like,
did they like lose
technology?
Technology. Like, how did they discover the symbiote? How did they figure that out? The Quee. There's even more questions that come up later on in other books about like the even bigger implications of everything. It's insane.
There was a lot I also felt like they kind of left out. She kind of left out in the first book, you know what I mean? Like the whole, when the girls were all waking up, we just kind of skipped that part, and I understand like maybe it wasn't that important, but I'm like, how did they deal with all that, especially with like, because one, Liz is fucking missing now, and you're like, what you mean she fucking missing? Like, where'd she fucking go? What did Rod do? Like, what's that bitch up to now? So now I want to know what happened to that bitch.
That's
now
crazy.
I'm invested, and
it looks like you gotta read book 2, bitch.
Yeah, how dare you?
That's insane for you.
What the shit, dude? I didn't ask for this.
But yeah, the book series, it literally does that throughout the entire series. She'll drop like little pieces of like universal lore
with it sometimes.
And then you're just like, well, fuck, I gotta keep reading, because what the fuck does that mean now? Like, what does this do? Like, it's so much. I didn't even finish the series. I got like 2 books away from finishing it, because I then found out, everyone, guess what? There's a fucking spin-off series. There's a spin-off series. I believe there's actually more than one spin-off series, but that's the one that I stopped at.
God damn it.
So we'll be back for book 2 at some point. Because now you're all in here with me. Now you all understand why Jetta like feverishly read through these bitches in a month. I read through like 20 books in a month.
Do that.
Well, you don't have to feverishly do it. I'm just saying I did that.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm mad at you. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do this?
Because you're in here with me now.
I didn't ask for this.
You're stuck here.
No.
But yeah, that was Ice Planet Barbarians. Did you guys have fun reading it? Everybody have a good time? Because we're gonna be doing the second one.
It was a lot.
It was a lot.
And I'm sure it continues to be a lot.
Boy, oh boy, does it just keep going.
So terrifying.
Does it just continue to go?
So question. Is each book also about one of the girls?
Yes.
That was my other question. Okay.
Yes.
That's all I want to know.
I know you're doing the math in your head. You're like, that doesn't equal 20, 20 something. Boy, oh boy, wait till you get in there.
Oh no.
Wait till you fucking get in there, champion.
No, what do you fucking mean? What is that? There's like, what, 11 girls? What the fuck do you mean there's more? What?
You know, the math's gotta add up somewhere.
The math is not mathing so far. It's not mathing. The numbers don't add up. You
But
got
yeah,
some
they dive
discrepancies.
into the other girls. They dive into the other girls' like personalities, obviously, but also like backstories,
Yeah.
including the ones in the pod. They'll like dive into those and like more of their
Oh.
emotions of being like, what the fuck happened? How am I here? Like, this is what I like. This is life now. I was
Yeah,
asleep and
from
now
being-
I'm here. Yeah.
Yeah, taken in their sleep, and then all of a sudden, aliens on a different planet.
Aliens and
Like,
getting a fucking like worm put in them in the same day. You
Worm,
know,
yeah.
it goes through all of
Yeah.
that.
That sucks, dude. I can't even imagine.
Oh, it must be awful.
But at the same time, like maybe I'm just like, okay, yeah. Like, yeah.
You know,
Sure.
maybe.
If you provide for me and you treat me right, yeah, okay.
They
I'm
really
down.
love racing.
Fuck it.
They really like it.
Yeah, they love racing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of racing.
There is quite a bit of that.
Uh-huh.
I can close that
Goodness
slideshow tab
gracious.
now. Did you guys like the slideshow? Do we like? Is
We
that
did.
is that a thing we want to continue with? The
I love the art.
slideshows? Thank
Yes.
you.
I
She
love the
did them
art.
all this morning. That's what I was doing for
It
5
was
hours.
incredible. I love that. This bitch worked so hard, you guys.
I did work very hard, entirely too hard for this
Did.
fucking book club.
It's great though.
But you know, it
I
was fun.
loved
I liked
it.
it.
Hell yeah.
Let's go ahead and throw this one back up so you don't have to see me biting a titty.
Or
long have I been
leave
going?
it, you know?
2 hours? You know, that's not bad.
Yeah. Bad. Yes.
What do we do now, Chat? Do we just continue to
Um,
talk about this book? Debrief?
We
Quick
could.
debriefs? You guys excited for book number
yeah.
2?
Well, wait, hold
Um,
on. What was everyone's favorite part?
Yes, what is everyone's
Does
favorite
everyone
part?
have a favorite part? Jada, do you
Mine
have
is
a
her
favorite
getting
part?
jumped by the Ewoks. That shit was funny. It was pretty hilarious.
It was really funny. What is my favorite part? I think I really liked when, he started teaching her things. Because, like, especially, we didn't really talk about it when she got thirsty, right? And you did
Mhm.
say, like, oh, he teaches her like that. But he goes, watch. And she's like,
Yeah.
watch. Because she was learning those words. And he's like, watch. So, patiently, he shows her. And then, like, they get back. And she wants to learn how to make a fire, and so he helps her make a fire. And I'm just like, that's really fucking is some domestic shit. Is really
It
cute.
was
I hate
very
it.
cute.
So yeah, I really enjoyed that part just because it was very cute.
Sorry, I'm adding the second book to my library right now.
Lux
I haven't done
says,
that yet.
Lux says they like the overprotective nature of Vectel. Yeah, me too.
You know,
really did.
we do
Dan's
love a
was
man
in
who
it.
will kill for you.
Yes.
It do be good.
Yeah, he's a
But
wife
it's
man.
extremely soft to you. It is fantastic.
He is so respectful, and I'm just
He
like,
just
damn.
wants a wife and kids to spoil. Yeah, I would also love...
Yeah.
I don't know that they ever got to that part where I was, but they're like very big on like family. Very big
Yeah.
on family in the
Yes, they
tribe,
are.
and I don't remember
They
if
are.
they ever touch on that, but I would
They're-
love to see like where that came from too.
So there is a part when they are getting to the village for the first time, and there's a scene where this father and a child, they're playing together, and he's like, the child's like, uppies, and he's like, okay, and then puts his kid in the air, playing like Superman and stuff. So they're very much on that. And then like, what's her name? The healer?
Malek?
Malik, she was also pregnant, by the way.
Oh,
and she
yeah, I
she
forgot
was
about that.
carrying a child. Yeah, they literally walk over, and he's like, "Where is she? Where's the healer?" And she's like, "I'm right here." And she's literally carrying one of her child in one arm, and she's pregnant in the other arm, and she's pregnant. And so I'm like, oh, they're like all about family.
Yeah.
And again, he keeps talking about, oh, I can't wait to have a kid. I can't wait to have kids with her. It's gonna be great. Blah blah blah. So yeah, I think it's all over the book where he's just like, I can't fucking wait. So
I can't wait for us to get to other parts because there's one very particular fascinating lore drop that I never got the answer to because I stopped reading that I want us to get to because it's a big one.
What book is it?
That
Or,
one
like,
is real deep in. It has
Real
to be
deep,
somewhere
okay.
in the like teens.
Deeper. Anyway.
But yeah, I just got the second one to my Kindle, so you know, we'll be doing that.
I did immediately download it, and I'm mad at myself about it.
We'll probably do the second one, maybe the third one, and then switch series for a little bit so that we don't get too burnt out. Because I do want to get to that Cthulhu book. It is actually really... I like that one. Also, the Anubis one was good, too. I just don't like dogs, so that's just a little too weird for me.
Yeah. The Cthulhu, though.
The Cthulhu, purple. It's purple.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is he purple or is he green?
No. The coon.
No.
Is purple.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What? That's not what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
I don't...
Bitch, that's not even the craziest thing. That's why I want us to get to that one so bad, is because it's insane. It's insane, and I need other people to see it. Like, it's a good book. It's also very cute. I enjoyed it a lot, but also it's insane in there.
Okay. I mean, I would think so. It's Cthulhu, you know. Bitches are horny about Cthulhu. I'm definitely not one of those bitches. Anyway.
I'm on the Bossed by the Bogart one currently.
Okay.
And it's okay.
Oh, yeah, because there's more in that series, right? It's all like... Is it ABC? Like,
I'm assuming so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Audited by the Anubis, claimed by the Cthulhu, and bossed by the Bogart.
Bossed by the Bogart.
That's the one I'm on right now. Yeah. That one's fascinating for a completely different reason. The main character's trans. Which is like, oh shit, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. We love that. Representation. We love that. I love that that Anubis is a fucking auditor.
He's an auditor. It was so great.
He's just like...
It's really good. That one was so fun. Funny. That one was like batshit insane, but like plot wise.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, because I'm like, how did Anubis become an auditor?
Oh, that's not even the insane part. You have no idea what's going on. Maybe we should read that one soon. We should get to that one pretty quickly because it's fucking wild.
Maybe. But
again, those are also short reads, which is I'm trying to pick shorter reads in the smut, so it could be like we're not taking forever to read this shit. We know what we're here for. You know, you wouldn't be mad. It's a really cute book. They're really cute. Yeah. Not even just like smut-wise, they're actually just like really cute.
Yeah. Dee, did you have a favorite part of this book? And what are your thoughts?
What are your thoughts?
What were your thoughts?
Are you excited for the second one? Because we're definitely getting into the second one.
Yep.
I'm excited to be doing book club. This is fun.
Yeah. I'm glad you're having fun.
I might be blue IRL one of these days. We'll see.
Who knows? Today was not the day though, but
today was
really
not
cute.
the day.
I like your model. Really like it.
I feel weird with black hair. It looks odd to me. But also I think she looks cute blue.
I think it's cute as fuck. Especially the makeup too. The makeup is fucking
poppin'. The glitter.
The eyes are fucking awesome.
I think it's from the same pack that like your makeup came from.
Oh. Interesting.
You were surprised by how well written certain parts were? Yeah, she's like not a bad writer. It's really good. Definitely want to read the second one. Your favorite part was when this hoe was like, mate? Who? Me? That was really funny.
So like she just could not believe, like, mate, the fuck are you talking about? Meanwhile, she did the ritual, like, bitch, yeah, what do you fucking mean? Like, hello?
You really, like, you went all in on it, and you're shocked that there was a word to put with it is crazy.
Hesitation at that point. Like, there was
none. She was like, I want this now.
I'm in it. We're doing
this shit was crazy. This shit was insane. And they just keep getting wild.
Written very well. Some of it was written, but there were some parts where I was like, bitch, we need to go back to school, because even I know that's not like well written. Come on now. Like you said with the foreshadowing was not foreshadowing. She was just
I don't want to
said it.
Fucking foreshadowing.
Out loud. Like, bitch, what?
You cannot so blatantly quote unquote foreshadow a thing twice in the same chapter
Oh.
is literally crazy. Like, you're
Like,
just
not
putting it out
even-
there at that point.
Not even pages apart. It was like paragraphs apart.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel like.
insane.
That was it. It was like, what, bitch? What? Crazy.
That shit was wild.
God, I
Hold
can't.
on.
Please tell me that her foreshadowing gets better as she writes.
I will be honest,
discovers
I
who she
truly
is.
don't remember these other ones now. Now Jade is going in
okay.
blind again.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We'll get there. We'll see.
I remember the first one vividly, and then the rest, because I read them back to back to back to back, they all just kind of blended together, so I don't fully remember details.
That's fair.
But yeah, thank you for coming to book club, everyone who is here for book club. If you have to leave now, I don't take offense to that. I hope you enjoyed it. We're just probably going to hang out for a bit and chat.
Yeah.